Well, it's been a while since I've been here in California at the GMT warehouse, and I'm here for weekend at the warehouse in the fall of 2025. Very excited to be here. I brought Seljuk down with me. I thought maybe that it would be out by now, but not quite, but almost. We just did a game inside with some guys who wanted to try it out. They had a good time. We played through the beginning of, or played through 1068, basically through the winter phase, and it was a very narrow Seljuk victory at the end with some pretty epic battles and some interesting moments and some hard lessons learned for Levian campaign. But I'm going to do a tour, as I normally do, of conventions, and I'll show you what people are playing. It's actually really busy here. This is Thursday, so I didn't expect as many people to be here, but I guess more people are showing up to the GMT's weekend at the warehouse, which is awesome. And there's a lot of cool stuff on tables, so let's take a look. All right, so we're walking in here through the front entrance. GMT keeps the place stocked with snacks and drinks and beverages that you can pay for while you're gaming, which is awesome. Speaking of gaming, we've got Napoleonic Wars happening on this table. We've got Napoleonic Wars looking to be happening on this table at some point, perennial favorite. We've got For the People set up here, another classic with the new edition, the new cover. We've got a game of Arcs happening over here, and some Norman Conquest, a little battle going on this table. It's about 4 p.m., so probably the end of the afternoon gaming going on. We've got a game of Downfall happening here. Not sure what turn they're on. But yeah, looks like maybe the German, the Soviet pushback is just the beginning, so it might be still early on that one. We've got Steve Carey doing some play testing here on Blind Swords. Not sure, it's a very small footprint. Nothing but victory. Oh, this is the Battles for Atlanta, yeah? Nice.
Yes.
Very cool. So designer Gina Willits is here. Nice to see you. I'm going to come say hi a little bit later. Steve Carey here playing, doing some play testing, it looks like.
Yes.
Nice.
This is Atlanta. This is the introductory scenario.
Nice.
A quick 3-turn.
3 turns?
Yeah, I think Gina's done a great job having decisions. We've already had the victory objective change hands twice.
Nice.
Pretty little introductory scenario.
Cool. Very awesome.
And over here they're playing Collision Course, which is the second scenario in the game.
The second scenario?
Yeah.
Much bigger,
And
but much fewer counters.
Yep.
Looks great.
Go ahead.
What do we got here? We got some Berlin Fall of the Reich. This is same system as the Stalingrad, yeah, the solo game. Very cool. Got some prototype stuff. Looks like more Blind Swords related things going on here. A lot of Blind Swords playtesting. That's very cool. If you're into the Civil War, Blind Swords is great. We got a game of China's War happening over here. A lot of Japanese police right there in the middle. Got the Battle of Hoth, which is the new Commands and Colors game from Richard Borg and Star Wars. I haven't seen this in person. It looks quite good. Here's the game of Seljuk that we just played, ending at the end of 1068, and we were about to go into 1069. So the Seljuk player ended up winning by half a point. They called it after that first season, and that's something you can do with the game. If you just want to play a single year, you can make that a scenario if you would like, based on the setups. And yeah, we had some epic battles in here. We had the Seljuk player take it on the chin a couple of times, actually, and then they struck back. Alp Arslan came down from Ani. He put Romanopolis under siege, eventually stormed the walls and ruined it, which is not something you see every day. But he chose to ruin it for the victory points, and that actually ended up being the decisive half a victory point for this game. Then he moved into Melitene and attacked Nicephorus Verenios. They had a big battle, and Nicephorus Verenios was kicked into orbit. It was pretty bad. A lot of archery going on there, and these are all the final components for the game. And you can see that if we were to continue, there were going to be some service issues here for especially the Romans. The Seljuks were down to their last lord, Alp Arslan. They did get treachery a couple times in a row, but they were unable to sway Robert Crepin to join their side. So it was a pretty good game. A couple of players, one of whom was, well, I would say you're both new to Levian campaign, I guess, yeah. And they picked it up pretty quick, and it was a good time watching them play through it. It was a very, very close victory. I think if we had gone into the next year, the Romans were about to score some big points because there was no defenses here. Here's a look at the cover, the box. It is real, I promise, with actual players playing it. We got some ASL happening over here. Got a tank duel game. It looks like it wants to take off. There's going to be a game of Angola over there a little bit later. Sword of Rome was kicking off when I got here around lunchtime. 5-player, the expansion. It's pretty classic. Got Barbarians at the Gates, one of my favorite CDGs. Looks like they're setting up for a new scenario. We got Plum Island Horror over here. The GMT folks are playing this. Don't know if they're using the expansion or not. I still want to play this game. Just a Robin Hood going here. How are you? Good. Good to see you, yeah. We got War of the Ring, the card game, 4 players happening. On a very nice playmat with the doors of Durin. What do we got over here? We got an 18XX game. Hammer and Rails. Is it an 18XX game? It is a train game for sure. And then this has been going Nemesis Escalation, which is a game that I've wanted to play very badly.
Yeah,
it
so
looks
he actually would have
awesome
died.
on the table.
Now he still has one. Now he has 2.
Got a baseball game over there on the table, and then we got this whole back room. There was some interesting stuff happening earlier. Got Battle for Hoth again. That's the second appearance of that. We got Plum Island Horror. That's the second appearance of that. No Retreat Russia over here. That's a classic. Very good game. Lunar Rush. Breakout Normandy. Looks like Drop Zone. Southern France is going on over here. Love those huge counters. This is Atlantic Chase, and I know Jerry White's going to be here with Pacific Chase, I believe. Or maybe that's SD Hiscon. I don't know. Actually, maybe it's SD Hiscon that he's going to be there. Anyways, Pacific Chase is going to be on tables, as I mentioned. We got some World at War 85 from Lock and Load, and a Fief England game going here. Here's the map of Fief England.
Good game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the original. I haven't played the English one yet. All right, and over here, Ukraine 43. Looks like a 2v2 game.
3 in there.
Classic.
But I could be fine.
So yeah, that's what's going on this afternoon. Might be some footage later tonight of the evening stuff, but I'm about to sit down and play some Ming Voyages. All right, we are back here on Friday morning, and there's gaming starting to get going. It's actually pretty early. I've never been here this early. I don't typically wake up, but I could not sleep last night, so... Got the Napoleonic Wars still set up over here. We'll do a walk around. Looks like the Austrians and the Russians and the French are fighting in the middle of Central Europe. Makes sense. Some of the same stuff for the people. Napoleonic Wars set up over here. Looks like the other side of the hill is going to have a game. This is a game that I've been wanting to get to the table myself. Got some Norman Conquest, Battle of Civitate and Fulford. The Downfall game is still set up over here. Looks like more stuff happening in the Western Theater. There's this game of Caesar, Rome versus Gaul, which is always nice to see on a table. Got the Blind Swords, Nothing But Victory Battle for Atlanta playtesting. So all the Revolution stuff still set up. This, by the way, this is a playtest of Early Threatens Washington, Monocacy Junction. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I don't know Civil War history very well. But this is Mike Wimple's playtest for a new game in Blind Swords. We have got some playtests happening over here. Got Battle of Hoth being set up and stuff. Sam London is here. That train game yesterday, by the way, was his. I played it. It was pretty fun. Hammer and Rails. Show you a picture of that. And then he's also got Common Sense here, which is the American Revolution trick-taking game that I'm a big fan of. John Butterfield here with the new version of On Hell's Highway. This is going to be coming from New England Simulations. I was talking to him last night about this, and this is basically the final map art from New England Simulations. Here you come. It's a very long, narrow map, as you'd expect from Market Garden. Got Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and then there's Arnhem there. And I don't know if these counters are final or not, but they look quite nice. And it looks like he's going to be doing playtests of this today. Very awesome. Looking forward to pre-ordering this. And New England Simulation should have this on pre-order before the end of the year, from what I understand. And here's the look. It looks like it's 2 maps, long ways. So that's going to be a really fun time, I think. Here I stand, setting up over here. Can't have a convention without Ed Beach's 6 players games. We got Cross Bronx Expressway having a game over here. I'm very curious to hear what the report is on that one. I'm looking forward to playing it myself. What else is happening this morning? There's a bunch going on in the back room. I'll go into that in a minute. Paths of Glory being set up. Cool. ASL continues over here. Let's go see. We got the Down in Flames tournament, which is a big staple of GMT's weekend at the warehouse. There's a game of Werewolf happening over at that table. Looks like they're setting up. And we'll go in the back room here. So I am going to be playing all day today. Be playing Mistral from Red Sash Games with Steve Carey. We have been talking about the rules we set up last night. Here's the map. We've got sort of the Mediterranean, Italy, Gibraltar, North Africa here. I will be playing the French, House Bourbon, so in the Spanish. So we've got our Spanish forces, our French forces there. He's likewise set up the British. I've gone through the rules. There's a lot of charts and tables here. I feel pretty good about my understanding of how to play the game. There's a lot of similar concepts to Lace Wars. So we're about to get started on that. Got a game of Warsaw 1920 over here, which is a really fun game. I played this several times, and I did a solo playthrough on the channel. I quite enjoyed it. This is the Russo-Polish War. Got some playtest stuff happening over here. Pacific Chase. Nice. Very cool. I was correct that it would be here. You're also taking this to San Diego, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay, you've got
Pacific Chase. We were talking about Atlantic Chase last night at dinner. Got a game of Successors setting up over here with the giant oversized map, which is really nice. Battles in the East from Decision Games. It's a game I've also been wanting to play, a series that apparently is quite nice, quite fun. Got No Retreat, Russia continuing there. Got Plan Orange. Or South Pacific, one of the two. Pacific War, there we go. I knew it was a Mark Herman Pacific game. Pacific War is the small map. Black Orchestra, another game that I've been wanting to play. Atlantic Chase, speaking of. By Swords and Bayonets. American Civil War, Great Battles. Drop Zone, Southern France. And then North Africa 41 getting started over here in all its extended glory. All right, I'll be back this afternoon, probably after lunch, to see what is shuffled through and what people are still going on. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here on Friday after lunch. Just got back from getting some food. I'm gonna show you what I'm playing. Got Microverse happening all weekend here in Sam London. Playing this with folks. I really love these 3D printed monolith artifacts that he's using for the playtest. It's really cool. More Drop Zone Southern France happening. We got this game of Werewolf that's been going on all day. This is Insurgency in Occupied Germany from Legion War Games. It's a really nice looking title. Coin adjacent maybe. It just came out, I believe. What do we got? We got Here I Stand still happening. They are in... Wow, the Pope is doing very well. I very rarely see the Pope this far ahead.
But this is the peak. The Pope's been declining.
Peak Pope right now? Peak Pope on turn 4? Yeah.
Protestants have had 1 and 2 ops all
Some of the
game.
people at the table seem to want him to win.
Ah.
They were given the choice to do something about it. They don't think the Pope's a threat. So they'll never hear the end of it.
Combat Commander over here. On Hell's Highway, playtesting going.
it's the mold time.
Tragedy, you always see that game. Seljuk here, we're going to play some more on Sunday, probably before I leave. How's the Glory going? Tank Duel. I've seen a bunch of games of Tank Duel being played. Looks like BCS Aracor is being set up over there. Got some pub battles going, which is, I guess, now called musket battles. From Command Post Games. They keep refining and redoing the games here. It looks like the blocks are a lot smaller. I don't know if that's this game or if it's a scale thing. What else? The Revolution guys are playing stuff. Looks like Rebel Fury might be getting going on that back table at some point. Downfall continues. Someone set up SCS North Africa here. I'm curious to see if this actually gets played, but all 4 maps. I did play this, as you remember, back in April at a convention. Looks like We the People, or For the People, excuse me, is being played here. Napoleonic War is still going. What is this? That's Black Orchestra. You've seen that. let's take a look at the back room and I'll show you what's going on with my game. Oh, here's more Nemesis happening. Here's Warsaw 1920.
It has a 1 on defense.
Pretty interesting. Let's see Pacific Chase, what we have here. Got some task
I like the
trajectories.
bonus points for that.
Here's the Japanese task force display.
The next question would be, come over here.
Lots of
Have
ocean.
you seen Atlantic Chicks?
All of the charts and game actions.
Seen it, but never
Ships
never
down
played.
here. Successors. Funeral cart has made it to Syria. Pacific War still set up. Battles in the East still being played over here. No retreat still going. Down in Flames happening. Card-based aerial dogfighting. Swords and bandits. Battle for Hoth. All right. Oh, and here's a game of Granada, Last Stand of the Moors, which is a great game. Uses the Sekigahara system. I actually might like it more than Sekigahara. I know that's kind of heretical. All right, so here is where I am playing Mistral, the War of Austrian Succession at Sea Mediterranean Theater. We are, so we're playing the 1940 scenario, which is 16 turns. We made it through 4 turns, and that was the winter of 1740. Most of that has been administrative stuff. Neither of us have wanted to put any sort of flotillas together and put out to sea because of the attrition penalties, but the British have jumped the gun here in the final winter turn, which is February-March of 1740, and they've put together a couple of flotillas, one here in Gibraltar, one here in Minorca at Port Mahon. And they are going to try and bring in probably a convoy this turn because they definitely need the repair points and somewhere in this direction. I have waited, as the French, as the Bourbon, French-Spanish combined actually. I have waited because I didn't want to take the attrition. So he's going to get out to sea before me, but he's going to be more damaged than I am. And you're going to score prestige points for sinking ships in battle. So what's interesting about the game, here are the displays. We've got our fleets, and then over here we've got our ports and all the ships stationed at those places, the squadrons. You're also drawing from a pool of orders every administrative turn and selecting one. So as you see here, I've got 5 potential orders in my hand, and these will sort of dictate what you do with your faction. So the S ones are Spanish, the F is French, and I can assign these orders to my flotillas when I create them to either patrol sections of the board or interdict specific spaces or escort convoys or all sorts of other stuff. And there's rules about how you interact with other ships, and you have to follow the wind based on how the wind is blowing. It's a really interesting system. We're about to get into the heart of it. I can't really comment yet on the maneuver aspect because we've mostly just been playing winter and neither of us have been put out to sea, but we are about to start that. Of note, we did have one of these trade winds, these seasonal winds, go to gale force around Marseille, which is somewhat inconvenient because most of my French forces are in Toulon, and I want to get them moving on this cruise Corsica and Sardinia order when they put out. So hopefully that gale will disappear and move on when we roll for wind in the start of spring. Yeah, pretty interesting. Some similar concepts to Lace Wars, but also a lot of really different stuff going on here. That's a little bit harder to put your mind around because you're talking about naval stuff. That's somewhat less intuitive than ground operations. But enjoying it so far, and I'll have a full report on this later in the video. We have been playing now we're on the 7th turn of a 16-turn scenario. And the game is quite interesting. There's a really rich decision space here, but it is very procedural, and there's a lot of minor things that you have to do. And it's also, you have to roll a lot of dice. Every turn, you're looking at the different wind tracks on the map, at every impulse, not every turn. So 4 times a turn, you're rolling 9 dice to see if any of these wind things become active, and if they do, you're rolling a die again to see if you get a gale, so like a gale force, right, down here in the Strait of Gibraltar. So there's a lot of dice rolling to establish game state, and then the game play is actually pretty quickly, just like Lace Wars. Each turn's 4 impulses, but in this game, it's actually broken down into movement point increments. So each impulse is further broken down into 4 things. Each unit uses 1 movement point in each movement point increment. So you're getting kind of a pseudo real-time movement thing happening with this game, which is also interesting. There wasn't a lot of action early, but in the first couple turns of spring, we did have a big battle here in the Strait of Gibraltar where a Spanish fleet, my Spanish fleet, sortied out of Cadiz, and they managed to come in here and displace a British fleet that was interdicting the strait, forcing them back to Gibraltar and robbing them of or giving them a failed mission, which you can see here. So that's going to come into play at the end of the turn to determine whether or not orders fulfilled were negative or positive. I'll go over here. It's easier to see the map even though it's upside down. We've got the French kind of patrolling Corsica, Sardinia here. They're not allowed to engage the British. So this scenario is kind of passive. It's mostly Britain versus Spain because it's the first year of the War of Austrian Succession. We do have a blockade of my port at Barcelona by this British flotilla here. I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I don't really have the available orders with the Spanish to go contest that. And my fleets are very damaged, especially the one that went to Gibraltar. So I've got to figure out repairs. But it's a really interesting game. I mean, there's a lot going on here. You can see just by the documentation spread all over the table, like just everything, the typical Red Sash chart booklet. We've been referencing the rules. We've been learning how to play. Most of the stuff is pretty clear. I do have a few questions I'm going to ask Ian, but it's a really interesting system. I mean, as a deep, crunchy operational naval system, this is a very interesting design, and I am continually blown away how stuff comes out of Ian's brain into game form. So having a good time with it. We're probably going to play a few more turns before the day is over. I don't know that we're going to make it all the way to the end of autumn, but having a good time with it. I'm really happy I got it to the table nonetheless. And let's go see what is out here. More Down in Flames. We got some prototypes here. This is a prototype from Sam London that I can't remember the name of. But is a World War II East Front game. We got Market Garden, World War II Commander Market Garden here. This is a John Butterfield design. 2 John Butterfield Market Garden games on tables next to each other, which is cool. Plum Island Horror still set up here, and here is, again, they were playing earlier, as you saw, on Hell's Highway, which is cool. Here I stand, still going. We last checked with the Pope was in the lead. The Pope no longer in the lead. The Ottomans, who it looks like they're about to win it. Turn 6 they made it to. Triumph and Tragedy. We have Hubris being set up and punched over here.
28 talents. I start at 21 talents.
You guys gonna play this?
We are gonna try.
Awesome. I would love to know what you think of it after you get done.
This is, we're gonna be so popular because everyone's gonna be like this.
I got another game of Rome versus Gaul here. We got some epic Napoleonics happening. This is the Battle of Leon. 4 players on the 2 maps. A lot of block density there. Got BCS Air Corps set up. I think someone was just messing around with it, learning it maybe. Our card game going here. Looks like a Star Trek game. People are about to leave for dinner, so I thought it'd be a good time to do a walk around. We have got that game of Caesar Rome versus Gaul. We got some World at War over here. Looks like they took down Desert Rats. Downfall, Rebel Fury over there. And lastly, some fun Euro action. Nations, fun game, civ building game. I used to own it. I think it came out like 12, 13 years ago. So that's what's going on this afternoon. I'll be back maybe with a little bit more of a check-in and some thoughts on Mistral, and then we'll probably see you tomorrow for Saturday, where I will be playing Congress of Vienna. All right, Saturday morning, second to last day, and this is what is on tap for me today, Congress of Vienna. I've been wanting to get this game played since it came out, and I'm finally doing it. Not my copy, but I'm very excited to be getting into this. I read the rules last night. We're going to take it as far as we can. Don't know who I'm playing yet, but it should be a good time, and I'll take some photos probably for that. Got Salerno 43 setting up over here. Looks like the Allies are about getting ready to land, which is cool. I know Italy 43 is coming pretty soon. I'm excited to revisit this game and play it connected. Colonial Twilight, don't see this one on the table very often, one of my favorite coin games. It's going to get set up there. Fighting Formations, Gross Deutschland. Kai is here, obviously. Got another game of Triumph and Tragedy going. Looks like Molly House might have a game. I saw some Pax Pamir 2nd edition last night. North Africa 41, looks like it's all about Tobruk right now in that particular part of the game. Got Inferno being set up. Nice to see some more Levian campaign at the warehouse. I really got to get this to the table at some point soon. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. Here we got Battle of Britain. With this looks really nice. Look at those flights. Conquest of Paradise, which is an awesome Polynesian 4X game that you don't see too often, but is a fantastic, fun time. There's also, let's see, it's like World Spanner Factions is setting up here. Nice mix of war games and non-war games. Jerry White going to be doing some Pacific Chase. I want to try and get some time with him, and I'll see if I can make a video about what's new with Pacific Chase. I know there's a lot of excitement for that one. Down in Flames tournament continues. We've got Sam here with Common Sense, which is a trick-taking American Revolution game that I really like. Here is World War II Commander Market Garden. This is John Butterfield. I think it's a solo game from Compass. We got some game that I'm not familiar with. It's like Space Theme. Got some Crokinole, which is awesome. Virgin Queen going over here. Combat Commander. People are doing their shopping right now, so a lot of activity. More Sword of Rome, possibly. Behind there, we're doing a Space Corp expansion playtest over here, very early in that. Seljuk still set up, gonna probably do some games of that tonight and tomorrow. Got Shiloh the first day, more Civil War happening. It looks like Banish the Snakes might be getting played. I'm gonna try and get a game of Imperial Struggle in today if I can. Here's Dunkirk, France 1940. This is, I think, a Worthington game, block game, yeah. What else we got? We got Caesar Rome versus Gaul. We got, this is actually really cool. So yesterday, while I was playing Mistral, the war at sea in the Austrian succession, some guys set up Pragmatic War from Compass, which, you know, I love this system. And they started playing the War of Austrian Succession on the land side of things. And it looks like the Allies are doing quite well for themselves. How far are they? They're in 1745, so they're about halfway through the game. But it was nice to see this system being played. We had a conversation about it. For the people going up over there, downfall continues. The Soviet line marches forward. And I think the last thing that's going on this morning, so other side of the hill, still set up over here. And then we got Hitler's War, which is a game from Avalon Hill. Look at those classic graphics. And finally, the Napoleonic Wars looks like it's still going on this table, off and on, throughout the course of the weekend. So I am going to go back into the warehouse and see if there's anything I want to pick up, and I will check back in this afternoon. All right, so I'm going to do something different, tell you what I just played. I had to find somewhere quiet because it's pretty noisy in there on Saturday afternoon. So we're just going to walk through the aisles here at the GMT warehouse so you can see just how many stacks of games they've got going on. So I just finished playing Congress of Vienna. I didn't manage to get any video because I was super engaged with it. I really, really, really love it. It is a great game. It is better. I think I like it more than Churchill, even after first play. I was super enthralled by the way that the game functions and the way that the four-player dynamic turns out. I think the diplomatic fluidity of the game is quite a bit more interesting than Churchill because there's another element, there's another player, there's another vector for that diplomacy, and I really, really like that there's a single deck. I know some people have complained that like the single deck makes it a little bit chaotic and weird when you're like France and you're playing a British card for, you know, points for debating or advancing an issue, but I do think the single deck makes really more interesting hand decisions about what cards you're going to use, because typically your hand size is about twice as big as Churchill, and you've got you know, all these other cards in the game, and you can trade cards with other players. So if you know that someone else in the game has one of your nationality's cards, you can trade one of theirs to them on your turn to get it back into your hand instead of having to either advance an issue or pass. And I think that's a really interesting decision space, because some of the cards you can hold on to for battle. And so if you know you're going to be making an advance on one axis of the war track, then you may want to use one of your actions to get a better battle card from your ally, which is just a super... the decision space is so much richer because of that. And I really like the sort of like King of the Hill toppling. So France is very close to auto victory at most times in the early game, and so you as the three coalition players really need to try and knock them down. And yeah, it just felt really good. It played really smoothly. I think it is a great evolution of that system, and I think it's probably closer to what I wanted out of the Great Statesman games than Pericles or Versailles 1919. So big thumbs up for me. Congress of Vienna, it's probably one of the best games I played this year, and I cannot wait to play another game when I get home. All right, with that out of the way, let's see what is going on today, Saturday afternoon. So I still have to intercept Jerry White for Pacific Chase. We've got some naval action going over here, flying colors. Cool, cool. We've got some Ghost Stories. Well, that's a classic. I haven't seen that game in quite a long time. Co-op game. We've got Grant, The Western Campaigns of 1862 by Compass. Being put away. Got a game of Weimar about to start up. We were playing over there, so we saw Weimar set up, and we were joking about how you should argue one issue off the Napoleonic track right into the Weimar track, since they use a very similar debate system. Got some fighting formations happening here. Colonial Twilight is cleaning up. Looks like, what is this? This is from C3I-38. This is Korea, the fight across the 38th from Trevor Bender. It's cool to see that here. We got, what is this? Star Tycoon on the big game table here. We've got Nucleum setting up here. In the Shadows from GMT. Resistance in France, 1943 and 1944. Very small game. Got some Grand Prix happening here.
Where are the new?
This is the Down in Flames still happening. More Nemesis, which is awesome. What else? Let's go over here. Market Garden with John Butterfield still going. Here, more Sword of Rome. Always Sword of Rome. Virgin Queen, let's check in on their game. They're in turn 4. And looks like the French are leading the Spanish by a single point, with the Ottomans close behind.
If I play enough...
Combat Commander. Red Dust Rebellion setting up on that table. It's the first, not as much coin as I normally see here this year. We've had a couple games. I saw China's War, saw Colonial Twilight. Dunkirk, France 1940, the block game from Worthington going. Caesar, Rome versus Gaul. Still set up. These guys have not returned to a pragmatic war, which is a bummer, because I want to see how this turns out for them.
This is first.
North Africa 41. Another game of that happening.
Is a
This is the same guy that brought Africa Corps and the Desert Rats. And then over here, we got Warriors of God. I mentioned this game yesterday actually, I was talking about Warriors of God. Absolute chaotic fun. And the rule of Warriors of God is that your best leader dies immediately on the turn he comes out. It never fails. Always the best leader dies. Looks like there's going to be some mini stuff or possibly an aerial combat game set up here with this match. And we're getting ready for tacos. So GMT generously provides tacos for attendees on Saturday night with a local taco truck. I am hungry and I am excited for that. I am about to play either John Company or Banish the Snakes, depending on how many players we can find and who knows how to play what. And then we'll see where the night takes me. I don't have to be up early tomorrow, thank God. And so I may stay here a little bit later than usual, try and find another game after that. All right, we are breaking it down on Saturday night. I got a lot of gaming in. I played, so after Congress of Vienna, I played Banish All the Snakes, which is the Kevin McPartland game about bringing Christianity to Ireland. And then I just finished a game of Imperial Struggle, which I taught to my friend who is here. So it was, my brain is very fried. I got crushed in Imperial Struggle, actually. But we did win in Banish All the Snakes, which is cool. Most people, hey, Carl from the War Game Boot Camp.
Party's winding down.
It is, yeah. Final real night, right, of the thing, yeah. They were going at North Africa 41 here. They did not. They played, I think, a little more of Pragmatic War. What do we got here?
And then I asked you, I don't know how
I don't know what game it is. Oh, Lords of Baseball
I bet.
is what they're playing. Scope Panzer, little Draco Ideas. I've never seen this game on the table. It's like a little card game, World War II card game, which is kind of cool. Most people have left for the evening. It's pretty late, but still some gaming happening. It's like we got, what is this? Edge of Oblivion. This is another Sam London design. He's brought a bajillion games. And we've got Twilight Struggle over here. Both struggles happening tonight. And I don't know, let's see, they were playing, they were playing Flamme Rouge, the bike racing game. I love that. It's so fun.
The one that I played, it was like, it's like Space Chariots or something. It's like Wild Goose.
Molly House. This is the group I played Banish the Snakes with. We had a good time with that. I like Banish the Snakes is like reverse Pandemic, is how I would describe it. Cosmic Frog.
In your play tracking app.
Like I used
Don't know what's going on. Cosmic Trot. Yep. And then back here, there was a game of Weimar happening earlier. Merchant of Venus. So, Battlestar Galactica. Classic. More flying colors here.
Does this launch more?
I really appreciate the dedication here late at night. Oh, another game of Imperial Struggle. Just finished getting my ass kicked as the British.
Well,
and you are also seem to be getting your ass kicked as the
this
British.
is pretty. My ass kickage is probably worse than yours.
No, actually, you are exactly on track to where our game was. In turn 2, I was 1 point away from auto win, and I managed to salvage it at 29, and I lost in turn 3. Yeah.
It's possible.
So this would mean that one that you did.
It's a great game, right in my wheelhouse in terms of topic and what have you. The other scenario in Battles in the East, it looks like. I really love this map. It's a really good looking map from Decision. And another game of Twilight Struggle. So we had a double dose of both struggle games. I had Ananda stop by and take a picture of me playing, which is pretty cool. Here's Hubris. This is the second game of Hubris I've seen. Looks like they're going to be playing it tomorrow, the full 3-player scenario. I will be playing this next weekend, so you can definitely count on a video from me from our play of this on the monthly update video, because I can't believe next weekend is already the end of October and I played a lot of games this month. So that is it. That is GMT on a Saturday. I might have a little bit more tomorrow. I'm going to come by for a while before I leave to go home, and it's been an awesome 3 days, and I love coming to this. I haven't been in about a year and a half, and I love seeing familiar faces, and it's just the vibe is really good. If you ever get a chance to come to the GMT warehouse, there's a lot of fun to be had. A really great event, a really great venue that they put on. So I will check back in tomorrow. One last small addendum to the video now that I'm home. I just wanted to show you what I picked up from the warehouse. Space Empires 4X. And the deals are such when you go to GMT Weekend at the warehouse that it's hard not to buy a bunch of games. I actually had to have this box shipped home because I didn't have enough room in my bag. And I foolishly tried to protect myself from myself buying more games. But as you know, GMT recently reprinted Space Empires 4X. I love sci-fi 4X games. Everyone I've ever talked to says they really love this game. For context, my favorite game of all time is Twilight Imperium. And, I've always been like, do I need another Space 4X game? I mean, Twilight Imperium ticks all the boxes for me. And it is so vast, especially with the new expansion coming out, that, I don't know that there's a need for more Space 4X in my library. However, every single time that I have asked someone about, what's Space Empires 4X like? They're like, oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good. I have literally never heard a bad thing about this game or the system. And while I was at GMT, I was walking around the warehouse and I was looking at it on the shelves because, as you know, GMT recently reprinted the entire line along with the new expansion that just came out. And I ended up talking to a guy there who was a big fan. He was standing by the shelf, and I was asking him about it. He was telling me what he loved about it. And then I found out later in the weekend that he is working on a digital implementation of Space Empires 4X. So he, of anyone, knows the game inside and out. So he convinced me. This is from designer Jim Crone. I love the cover art to these games. Very not normal GMT stuff. And so while I was at the warehouse, I picked up Space Empires 4X. I picked Space Empires 4X Replicators expansion. I picked up the Space Empires 4X Close Encounters expansion. And, of course, I picked up the Space Empires 4X All Good Things expansion, which just came out and comes in a massive 4-inch box. It includes a combined rulebook for all of the expansions. So I'm excited to be playing this with a game group that typically doesn't play historical stuff with me. They really like the more thematic, epic scope, big games, but not necessarily about history. And I think this fits into a really nice spot with that group to get some sort of more wargamey stuff to the table that is going to appeal to them given its setting. So I now own all of Space Empires 4X. Thanks GMT for making it too hard to resist purchasing when I'm down there. It was a great event. I really enjoyed it. If you ever get a chance to go, like I say every time, definitely go to GMT Weekend at the warehouse if you get the opportunity. It's a fantastic vibe, and you'll get some good deals out of it as well.